a minute and welcome to the Fine and Performing Arts, Visual and Performing Arts Pathway. We'll probably start in about 30 seconds just to make sure if there are any latecomers who are transitioning from the last first session, they can come to this session and kind of hear what we have to say and what we offer here in District 214, and some really great people who are on this panel with me. I'm very excited for them to share their expertise and experiences with all of you. So it looks like we've got a few more people coming in, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I'll introduce myself. Good evening. My name is Jeremy Morton. I am the District 214 Fine Arts Coordinator. In addition to that, I actually work at Prospect High School as the theater educator, college oral communication or speech teacher, along with the Fine Arts Coordinator here at Prospect High School. And today I have three great guests who I will let introduce themselves. And then we can get started. So I'm going to just follow my screen. So Cindy, because you spoke last in our introduction, you are right next to me. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Cindy Pasek. I am an art teacher at Elk Grove High School. I'm also a graduate of Wheeling High School. So I'm a product of District 214.
All right. Thank you, Cindy. And we're totally talking about that later, by the way. I'm super excited. All right. Thank you, Cindy. And then next I have Teresa. Will you introduce yourself, please?
Yes. Hi, I'm Teresa Arnold. I am actually a transplant from Iowa, so I don't know a lot about the district. I am the marketing director for the Theater Lab, a program of the District 214 Community Education.
Thank you so much. And we love having you here. Welcome to Illinois. All right. And Steph, you are last. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie Spars, and I am a theater and English teacher over at Rolling Meadows High School and also run our extracurricular theater program.
And it is so extra there at Rolling Meadows. It's super exciting. Great things are happening. I love that. I love that. And I can't wait for you to share everything that you guys are doing over there. All right. Let me try to play Zoom Master slideshow. All right. How does that look? Does that look good? Thumbs up. Okay. So this is the official title that now we can officially begin. All right. Welcome to the Visual and Performing Arts Pathways. As I said earlier, my name is Jeremy Morton. Here are our panelists, Teresa, Stephanie, and Cindy. We're very excited to have them talk not only about what they do in our district, but also what we offer here in District 214. We did put out a call for other staff members and guests and artists, but as you all know, the art never really goes to bed. It's still like going. We've got rehearsals galore. We've got band rehearsals literally outside my room. So if it gets really loud, the music and the art and performance never stops in District 214, and it's super exciting. And we're excited to talk to you a little bit about what we offer here in District 214. One of the great things about our district is that we have kind of this path that students can choose to follow. If students aren't exactly on the path, they can always jump on and get involved in our art classes in all different ways. And so there is this packet that is specifically for the visual and performing arts that kind of discusses all of the classes that we currently have on the books. And then it also talks a little bit about what we have both in the high school classroom, but those co-curricular experiences, as Stephanie had talked about a little bit, how we offer things outside of the classroom as well to get our students engaged in the fine and performing arts. So I'm going to actually ask Ms. Pasek to talk a little bit about the arts and some of the classes that we have to offer, and then I can kind of follow through. Did you want to start talking about graphic arts, or did you want, yeah.
Sure, I can talk about graphic arts. Graphic
Thank
arts is a year-long class. To my knowledge, it is offered at all 6 of our high schools. It basically goes through Illustrator, in which you are learning how to draw using Illustrator, in which you are producing vector drawings, which can be blown up to the size of a billboard. The first semester, and then second semester you tackle Photoshop, so you're learning that as editing, which is kind of industry standard. if you are going on into graphic design, you'll definitely use those programs as well as other ones. So graphic arts and design would be where you would start in the graphics pathway. You would go on to an advanced graphics class, and then there would be a third year in which you were taking AP Studio Art and 2D design, should you kind of want to pursue that as a possible career pathway. Then there are internships that are available through graphics. There are internships in which you are working down in the graphics lab at school. You could potentially be paid for your work. If you're, plugging away, you're doing your work, you're excelling in that area. There are also internships with businesses out in the wild. So out in the suburban area, you can do those programs as well. Then we have the art program. And the art program, I'm at Elk Grove High School. So all of the district schools have a Art 1 class, which is kind of the recommended year-long foundation class. In that class, you are starting with drawing. You're drawing from life. You're working with line drawing. You're building on that with value drawing. You're moving on to color and color theory, painting. And then second semester in that class is metal. You're working with metal, making jewelry pieces. You're working with clay. So that class is kind of intended, maybe you've never worked with metal before. And if you love that, you can move on to a 3D class after that. Or you can say, oh, I didn't really know if I liked that metal and clay experience. I really struggled with that. And you might say, I'm more of a kind of 2D person in terms of, I like working on paintings. I want to learn how to do prints. I want to learn how to do advanced painting methods. After that, we would have art portfolio, which is kind of a catch-all. So you would have 3D students working at an advanced level. You would have 2D students working at an advanced level and photo students working at an advanced level. So building a portfolio in that class, kind of gaining your own voice a little bit more. There's teacher guidance and instruction that happens, but a lot of the assignments are a little bit more student driven. AP Studio Art would be after that, and AP again catches all of those. So sculpture students, drawing, painting, and photographers. And the goal with that is that you are building a portfolio. Now, if you are intending to go into the arts and you want to go away to college and you want to get a BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, your goal would be to build a portfolio that is strong. A lot of that work might be from life. Also expressing your own kind of interests in art and life and all those things. If you get a 3, 4, or 5 on that portfolio, you can get out of some foundation level classes in college, which awesome. I know at Elk Grove, we have a pretty amazing kind of rate of students in our AP class getting scholarship offers. Last year, every single one of our AP students did receive scholarship money to colleges. That happens a lot through our IHSAE show that happens every year in the spring. It's like a statewide art extravaganza show, kind of similar to athletics. I did forget photography. So we have photo 1, photo 2, and advanced photo as well. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead of the slide.
No, you're doing great.
So we have photo 1 and 2, which are typically taken in a school year. So you would have those back to back. Photo 3 as well, advanced photo studio, and then you would take that AP level 2. In all of our District 214 schools, you are learning the traditional photography at the beginning. My students are currently finishing up with pinhole photography, in which they built a camera out of a small box. And we're working in the darkroom. Then we're learning how to use SLR cameras, learning how to burn and dodge in the darkroom. And then that leads into Photoshop and digital photography after that. So that's the art program and the various arms of it in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I think what's exciting not only about what's happening in the classroom, but what's happening outside of the classroom. And you kind of touched on it when you talked about this extravaganza, and the opportunities that we provide for the students, not only for the scholarship, but just to have their work shown. At the district level, we do also have multiple district-wide shows, and we have even local shows in our own building. So the students, their work is put up on display at each of our buildings, and then we have the opportunity to showcase them in some really cool experiences at the district level, and then even in a local area where we do the Harper Area Art Show, where we share our art experiences with District 211, Barrington High School, which I
That is correct.
two
Yeah. So it's
220.
a regional show. So any school that Harper would be their kind of home junior college, Harper hosts us for that show. In addition to that, last year, District 214 schools, we had a show at the Empty Corner, which was it's a local gallery space that one of our former colleagues runs. And that was an up and coming in the art department. And we each of the 6 schools nominated 3 students, and they put 3 of their pieces in, and then there were scholarships awarded to them too. So, I mean, there are a lot of opportunities for students. This Friday in 2 days is Visual Arts Day. So students have the ability to experience workshops that are taught by local professionals, as well as other art teachers. So sometimes as an art student, it's nice to not stare at the same human who's instructing you all the time, and learn from somebody else. And I know teaching workshops at Visual Arts Day, I ran into a student who was like, "Hey, you taught me this mono printing thing." And then her dad came up and he was like, "Yeah, that's all she was talking about for like a month solid, this experience that I had at Visual Arts Day." So we try to, keep it fresh, keep it interesting for you all. Does that cover everything?
No, yeah, it was, yeah, I think we're very lucky to have a art team that goes above and beyond. The art teachers are sometimes the first teachers here and last ones out, finishing art pieces, grading art pieces, setting up shows, sitting in meetings, talking about what we can do and offer for our kids. And so we're very lucky if you are interested in the art pathway, they will find ways to educate you, but also to engage you and then make sure that you're showcased. So thank you so much for sharing all that information, Cindy. I think you did a really great job. Speaking of showcases, here at in District 214, we have a really strong theatrical program. And so I'm going to let Stephanie talk a little bit about the theater and acting pathway and talk about what classes we have to offer during the day. And then if you want to jump in and talk about some of the other extra co-curricular pathway experiences that we offer, and I'll jump in as well. But thank you so much.
Great. Yeah. Hi, everybody. So nice to be here with you tonight. And much like the art programs, I think our theater and performance and technical opportunities are really extensive and things that students really look forward to. So we offer pretty much, I think, across the district, every level has an Acting 1 class, which lays a really strong foundation in the basics of theater. And this can include everything from intro to performance, performing monologues, play analysis, opportunities to understand what professional theater looks like. We do a voiceover unit and things like that as well to sort of expand what it really looks like to be a working person in the performing arts field. And so our Acting 1 class is a 1-semester course, and students can take that. After that, a lot of our classes kind of shuffle around. We've got an advanced acting curriculum, and that kind of covers maybe acting 2, 3, 4. In my case, they're stacked, which means all of those students are in a classroom together, which is a really cool kind of workshop environment where we have these huge varieties of experiences. And in this advanced class, we do all different sorts of things, from writing our own work and performing them. We do more complicated scenes and work kind of a little bit faster, I think, and a little bit deeper. We do theater history and all kinds of stuff like that. So students really get a chance to look at some of the niche elements. Last year, my class got a chance to do a puppetry unit. We went to go see Opera in Focus, which is one of the only really fascinating and amazing small scale puppet shows left in the United States. And it just happens to be right across from Rolling Meadows High School. So I guess that's a plug for them. They did not endorse this, but if you are interested, please go check out Opera in Focus. It's really a really amazing space, but they allowed us to come in for a special show, and we got to see behind the scenes for what they do and how they create their art. We also have a very robust co-curricular program. Mr. Morton came from auditions just before this. We just closed our first shows at Meadows and things like that. But our students have the opportunity to also participate in theater. We know that sometimes in choosing an elective, you do need the fine arts credit, but a lot of our students take band or do art, and their extracurricular outlet becomes theater. And so they do theater after school only, as opposed to just during the day. The nice part about District 214 is you don't have to pick. Students can sign up for classes and only do it during the day if they've got a sport or another activity after school, or they can come and join us after school only if their schedules do not allow for them to take an acting class. So in that, we've got plays and musicals and radio plays and improv shows and all kinds of stuff across the district. We're doing all different sorts of shows. Every school, I think, has at least 3 or 4 different performance opportunities a year. And so if one show doesn't work out with your schedule, there's going to be another show that does. And I think it's a really fantastic way to either expand on the experiences you're having in class or try something new. All of us, I think, theater teachers work really hard to make sure that there's a huge diversity of types of show. Some are contemporary, classical, Shakespeare, like I said, improv. So regardless of what your interest is, hopefully we allow you to grow that interest and get to do something new.
That was very articulate and well done. You must be a performer. And in addition to all of that, we do offer, similarly to the art program, some district experiences. So just like the Visual Arts Day that's coming up this Friday, we have a drama day that's coming up in November, and we're bringing drama students from across the district, and that's including technical students too. We can't forget that the show can't go on with the behind the scene people, and so we provide opportunities for them to learn, to costume, to build, to hang lights, design lights, and program the sound. Everything is really hands on for many of our students, and so our drama day is going to actually happen at Harper College this year, where we too are bringing in artists from the Chicagoland area to kind of teach our kids in musical theater and Shakespeare, tech Olympics, and tech, all the elements of the theater. We're super excited about that. Additionally, for the past 10 years, we have offered some district shows. We've done district improv shows where we bring our kids together so they can perform together, compete together. We do a district musical every year. And so we've had a lot of opportunities for our students to kind of grow as a program and really begin to support each other. And it's a really cool community that we've built in the District 214 fine arts world, specifically the theater world. And we're doing a really nice job, including traveling together. This year, we are bringing 120 students to Broadway, New York. We are not performing, not this year, but we are going to watch some really great shows. And so getting involved in our program, we really want to kind of open the doors and let kids see what it is that this world can be. And we try to provide them plenty of opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, similarly to the art program, we have internships that we have some students who are participating in. I know that we've had students work at Metropolis Theater. We've had students who worked in our own programs. We have students who work in our theater lab that we will talk about as well. But we want to provide our students with as many opportunities as possible to get involved and try it now in high school so that they can commit to, yes, this is what I want to do. We have some kids who want to be theater teachers and they try working with the theater class and then they realize that's hard. And then we say, yes, it is, but it could be something really valuable and wonderful if you really want it. And so we're happy that they get to choose and try to experience that in high school now. Did I miss anything, Ms. Mars? Rock and rolling. All right. I think I get to discuss some other great experiences, but because I don't teach them, we'll go a little bit faster. And I would love to talk to our panel a little bit more. So if you are interested in band and playing an auxiliary instrument, we have a lot of groups. We have our typical marching band, and then it breaks into 2 groups, 3 groups, sometimes even more at our schools. Students can, from freshman year, they would just continue taking that band and play all 4 years. And then they can not only play an instrument, but they can learn a little bit about, how music is composed in our harmony and arranging classes. We also have music production classes. We have students who are kind of learning how to create music through the computer, which is very different than the band world, but we are trying to provide music to all of our students. And so in the classroom, there is a clear pathway of what they do. They are in band. It could be in jazz band freshman year. It just depends on what group they audition. And all groups are audition based. Outside of school, like I said, they can be participating not only in the marching band, but they can also participate in a district band. We have a district honors band that performs in the spring. And then we also allow our top group and our lower group perform for each other. We have these great festivals where we bring guest directors who work with our students and help teach them a little bit about working with the college professor, and they talk about their experience at that college, but then they also work with these students and help them make them sound so much better, which is an exciting opportunity that we offer every year. And there's so much more, including our choir. The music doesn't stop in our hallways. You know, that it never ends. From the beginning at 7:20, we have small groups singing in the morning and all the way to the end at night, you know, in our evening a cappella groups or show choir groups, if it's happening at our schools. Music is happening and alive in District 214. It's super exciting. And just like in the band world, some of our groups are audition based. Some of them, students are placed in them based on their year, and they keep moving on and up through that path in the choir world. In addition to the choir classes, it is a class and they have concerts, and we provide concerts just like in the band world, a district concert in the spring that celebrates them. But we bring even our beginning students together in the fall, and we do a District 214 Sings workshop where we bring guests in to work with our beginning choir students, and we start building that foundation of how our voices are important, and we want to make sure that all of them are heard in District 214 choral programs. And so they can participate not only in our day classes, but even in our night classes. We have some 9th hour courses, but then we do have some competitive groups even in our through our classes. We have some a cappella groups and jazz groups that do go out and they compete and they perform. But there are really some great opportunities that we offer both in their band, choir, and in our orchestra could be next, but it's not. And our dance programs. Wow, that was a transition. All right. So in our dance programs, we dance a lot. We have 6 fantastic dance teachers as well, who are providing our students not only the traditional Dance 1, Dance 2, Dance 3 curriculum, but you could also participate in an audition-based orchestras program where students are choreographing and learning the skills of all different types of dance, but how to not only learn, dance them, but to teach them. And it's super cool to watch our kids not only work with each other, but work with some of the amazing guest clinicians and artists that we bring in District 214, both at our schools individually, but also when we come together. For example, this past October, early October, we had artists in residence where we brought a choreographer who taught over, it had to been over like 300 students dancing in this one style, and each school like danced separately, but when they came together and seeing all these bodies move at once, it's just beautiful. And it's just a different form of art and storytelling. And I think our students are very lucky to have some great teachers and opportunities both in the dance world, music world, and our visual art world. I'm very excited about what we have here in District 214 to offer. Just like our other experiences, we have a dance day or a dance tour we've offered in the past. And then we have an honors dance festival that the district provides our groups to perform together in the spring. So our students are competing, our students are performing, but if they want to become a dancer, there are a lot of opportunities both during the day and at night for our students. There it is, the strings. We didn't leave them out. If you're interested in a string world, we have not only just the string orchestra, but we have our symphony orchestras. We have a district honors orchestra, so students can perform and during the day, and then they can also perform at night with our district group. That's in the fall. And then we have an honors orchestra that meets specifically in the spring as well, which could be a different group. And it's a really cool opportunity for our students to get to know other string players. And many do because they perform all year, both in the district honors in the fall and then the spring honors group in the spring. Many of them kind of work together weekly and get to know all students from different schools. And that's another great opportunity to show support and get to kind of build that community within our group. Students can perform during the day. And the crazy and cool thing about the block schedule, it has allowed some of our musicians to kind of play literally together. They can be, in the beginning of one period, they are in the orchestra, and then at the end of that period, they can be in the band. And there's some flexibility that our block schedule has allowed our students who play an instrument to be in both. Some it's some schools they can be in a choir and then also in band. In some schools, the scheduling just doesn't work out. But there is some flexibility. You will have to talk to your school on your electives day and find out what are those options. But we do encourage our students to get involved during the day as much as possible, performing, whether it be on stage, backstage, behind a music stand, behind an easel, and any other words that I could come up with. But we do offer many opportunities for our students. That was kind of quick, but if you want more information about the pathways, the pathway book and guidebook is on District 214's website. And if you go down to academics and you click on the link that says the program and pathways guidebook, you can print it up or just look at it right then and there, and it will answer all questions you have. Speaking of questions, I would love to talk to my panel a little bit about who they are. Did I stop the screen share? I think it's just us right now. Yes. Phew. We don't have to look at my crazy screen. So I think we've talked a lot here in District 214, our staff. So I want to bring on Teresa a little bit, just to learn a little bit more about what you do at the Theater Lab. What is the Theater Lab? If you could kind of explain that to our guests and those who are watching on the recording. And thanks for watching, everybody.
Sure. So Theater Lab is completely different. It's only in the evenings. It's not part of, school classes or anything along those lines. We are purely by audition, and community is the best word that I can use for it. And it's a bit different than a lot of people think community theater versus professional theater. And it's a little bit different than that. And I've been involved in both. And I say community from the perspective of we really are looking to work together as a team, as an ensemble, and looking at all aspects of the theater and how we can work together to be the best that we can be in all aspects of theater, and looking at, what's the best we can do on stage and backstage. So we tackle everything within the Theater Lab, from our production, and that includes costumes, set building, creating our own props, lighting, sound, you name it. If it's involved in the production, we're tackling it and looking for individuals in our community to help with that and support us with that. And it's a phenomenal experience if theater is something that you are passionate about, because you have the opportunity to be involved with those aspects and learn about those aspects. I have been involved in theater since I was in high school, and it's not at all part of what I do professionally. I've been in marketing for my entire career. My education is in neither. I went to Cornell College and majored in computer science and English. And so has nothing to do with any of them. However, I think it served me well in that, English is heavily involved in communications and marketing, and computer science from a perspective of marketing, been very, very heavily focused on digital marketing. And obviously that's a lot of what we do, although theater has a lot more traditional marketing in that it is a bit more of a traditional performing art. It is in person most of the time, although the pandemic pushed that. There's a lot more digital performance than ever before. Which is a whole unique aspect of performance than there has ever been before. And I don't think it's going anywhere. Digital marketing certainly isn't going anywhere. So, we've learned to adapt to that as well. We did a few digital performances during the pandemic, and it has unique challenges, but also unique creativity that comes along with it. So there are a lot of different pieces. The biggest piece about it is knowing your audience. I think from a marketing perspective, from a performance perspective, and also in building a community as the Theater Lab. This is always tough because I don't get feedback from the audience. So if there are questions, I don't know how much people know about
I'll ask
theater
them.
lab.
No,
Yeah,
I
please.
know. I'm so curious. This is exciting, right? Because I love that you had theater in your life and then you went away, but it's back. But marketing is a storytelling. It is theater, and you can use some of those experiences, I'm sure, as well. If a student was interested in marketing, what recommendations would you have maybe for them to get involved in their high school? Like even thinking back to when you were in high school, what could you have done? Or do you have any recommendations for high school students who are interested in maybe even learning about marketing?
Yeah, I think a big thing is just understanding communications is a part of it, because even though, marketing and communications aren't always combined, there is definitely an aspect, as you said, there's storytelling. So to be able to tell an effective story is to understand who you're telling the story to, so that you can make that connection. I think, being involved, I have actually been involved in theater since I was a freshman in high school. So I've never left theater. It's been a constant in my life since then. I've actually been on stage and performing in some way, shape, or form far longer than I've been backstage. And backstage, I've done marketing, I've done props, I've helped with costumes, I've kind of done a little bit of everything. But I would say, from a marketing perspective, communications is a big piece, creativity, writing, and having that the vision of the story that you want to tell, finding ways to connect. Business is a big part of it as well, understanding how marketing fits into the business. It's different in every company, but it's kind of like theater. It all works together. You can't have marketing if you don't have a product to market. You
Mhm.
can't market a product if you don't have a way to sell it. So it's all integrated, just as, you can't have a performance if you don't have lights, if you don't have actors, if you don't have costumes, right? So marketing is very much the same way. It's nearly impossible to sell a product if you have a way to talk about it, to tell a story about it. And if you don't have a brand that supports it and can tell, what you stand for as a business and how you tell that story. So I think there are a lot of aspects. I think business is much more important in marketing than a lot of people realize, and understanding the aspects of that and how that all the pieces fit together in that puzzle. So that I could go on and on. I'm very passionate about both theater and marketing. So
Well, and I think that's kind of cool to hear, right? I mean, you can in high school take a business course and realize, oh, I like this element, but you can still like art, you can still like theater,
absolutely.
and I mean, maybe Miss Pasek, you would agree or disagree, but I think a lot of artists need to understand business in order to maybe survive a little bit as an artist. Do you know anything about that?
This is definitely true. But also piggybacking on that, like I think somebody in marketing needs the creative problem solving skills that are acquired in an art class or in a graphic
100%.
class,
100%.
to kind of meld with
Yeah.
that business class. So although some people are like, no, business is a completely opposite side of the brain, right? Like they need to come together. And I mean, some of the colleges that we bring in colleges to like come and talk to our students. Some of them do product designs, and their students are, like selling accessible seatbelts to like different companies that are magnetic, and it's going through a design process, and it's all like need based. So then you have to figure out, the story that you're selling that thing to. So I mean,
Absolutely.
it is a package deal, and I think that is something that District 214 does well. They are trying to turn out well-rounded students that can go out in the world and be successful beyond high school. I mean, my experience, I knew I wanted to be an art teacher when I was a junior in high school. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And really my junior high art teacher kind of inspired that in me. But by junior year, I was pretty set on it, and I started looking at schools. And I was a shy kid. I sat in the back of the class. I was super awkward. I would sit and draw all the time. And my teachers didn't think I was paying attention, but I was. And that's just how I processed. That's how I processed information. And I went to a very small liberal arts school, Knox College, and my largest class was a bio lecture. And I tell students that, and they're like, but you're an art teacher. Why did you have to take bio? Like, I went to a liberal arts school. I had to take classes in
Oh.
other
Mhm.
areas, because then I'm a well-rounded citizen of the planet. So, you know, I mean, we all end up in the places that we end up because we have a passion for it. My passion is for making. Like, if I get any extra time, I'm like sitting and, you know, painting or photographing something, or like thinking about designing something, problem solving something. So I think taking an art class gives you kind of real life application to different avenues, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, marketing has so many aspects to it as well. I mean, you know, you were talking about some of the classes. I mean, graphic design, there are so many aspects. I mean, both in theater marketing and in general marketing. I mean, we design our own program, our own ads, the poster, the postcards that we use for marketing. You know, that's one piece. We design their set. We design all of our own props, you know, the 3D aspect, but there's data and interpreting the data from a marketing perspective and what's working and what's not working and testing that data. It's understanding the economy to, you know, the supply and demand. There are a ton of different pieces. There's, you know, there's so many aspects of that. I mean, there's a visual aspect to brand and branding. And I mean, the reason that I love marketing is because it has such a broad spectrum of those pieces and the bits. And like, I'm very much both right and left brained, but if I had to pick, it's the creative aspect. Like hearing about all of these courses that you two are talking about, you know, I'm like, I want to be a student. I want to take these classes. These sound amazing.
Me too, and I work here.
Like, I don't know.
Like, I want to put a pause. I'm going to join a class.
Like you know, it was small town Iowa. We didn't have any of this. Like, I was like, oh, I want to take all those art classes. I want to take all those theater classes, except improv. I'm not good at improv.
Oh, yes, yes.
Give me a script and a score and I'll learn them, but improv, not my thing.
No, I think here in District 214, we do a really nice job. And I love that you talk about marketing. And I know, I think, Ms. Spars, you actually use some students who help with maybe a little bit of marketing and help, you know, students who are involved in our productions. We have at Prospect, we have a lot of crew members who are from the art department, right? It just makes sense, you know, and we provide those opportunities for our students. What are some opportunities that you do at Rolling Meadows that allow students to kind of explore maybe marketing or design that's maybe just outside of getting on stage and those memorized or improv lines?
Yeah, I mean, our students come from everywhere. Our pit orchestra is made up of students who are coming up to us from band and our orchestra programs. I have a really, really talented student right now who does a lot of hand lettering and design. And so all of the materials, we put up a big display in our lobby that changes every single show we do. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of energy to put together. We're creating a 3D whale right now for Moby Dick. Which we are adapting ourselves, which is our next project. I think it'll be really cool. And so to be able to kind of see all of the students coming together and bringing the skills that they have is fantastic. I'm really passionate about like the production team element of it. So most of the shows that we do here at Meadows, and I'm assuming at other schools as well, have a student director, have a production team that helps put things together and organize rehearsal schedules and stage management and things like that. I'm really passionate about dramaturgy and theatrical research. So we've got a dramaturgy dramaturgy program at Meadows, where students are learning research skills and use that to inform the materials that our cast and crew get for design and implication, but then also allow us to reach out to our community members as well. And so designing, dramaturgs are information designers. And so they're taking that material and they're creating things that help our audiences better understand and engage with our shows too. So even if you're not necessarily an actor performer and want to be on stage, or even working in a specific element of tech, we've got all these other kinds of production pops and other resources and things like that that students can give a shot to. And again, the nice part about it is if you try it for a show and you decide you don't like it, do something the next show and change it up, and figure out kind of what you like to do and what lights your fire, what, is the wind in your sails. There's plenty of things to try.
I can't wait to see this 3D Moby Dick. That's going to be super cool. And I agree. Here at Prospect and throughout our district, we provide these opportunities for students to get involved. I know in our dance programs, we have not only student choreographers and leaders, but we have some internships where students are going and teaching at the middle schools and kind of building this community. We have in our band programs, we have section leaders, we have drum majors. There's leadership opportunities that are going to help our students grow. And, they may find that they too just, like that, shy girl in the back who is doodling and not listening. They may realize, oh, I want to do that one day. In their senior year, they're up there on that podium and conducting. And the next year, they're like the Illinois Teacher of the Year for band. I mean, we want our students to explore and get opportunities. And whether it's in the classroom or in our co-curricular experiences, we try to show our students that there's more to the art than what they know and what they think. And when the doors are open, some really amazing things happen here, not only in District 214, but obviously in the world. When doors are open and you can actually see what's going on, it's beautiful. And so we're very excited about that. Teresa, I have one quick question about like the theater lab in general. Can any student who's on here or watches it, can they join? Can their parent who is watching as well, can they get involved? What is the theater lab? Do you have internship experiences? How does that work?
Yep, all of the above. Yes, anyone is welcome to come to auditions. I am totally blanking. So I know we work directly with the district on internships. We have had intern last semester. We had interned for both costumes, and we had costumes and lighting sound intern. We are working on marketing interns, which I'm very excited for next semester. We had some for this semester. I was really bummed. They just had personal conflicts come up within the family, so that didn't work out. I was super bummed about that because it'd be great. I'm super psyched to have that interest. So yes, we're working with internships, definitely that opportunity. Parents, families, high schoolers, any age is welcome. It kind of depends on the production itself, whether, it's on stage. Usually backstage is a little bit different just because whether or not it's kind of appropriate for what's safe and what's not, it's that building may or may not be appropriate or safe. Anybody can be a member. We're working on kind of evolving that. And as a theater, we're evolving that. We're starting our 7th season right now as a theater community. Did I answer your question? I feel like I missed one.
No, I think that was great. And it's a really cool opportunity. I know one of the interns, I think who you're referring to, did costumes. They worked with finding costumes from all different sources, and the student
from, researching, like measuring all of our actors and researching what's right for each individual and within the overall vision of the show. And they've done 2 shows now, and this is starting their 3rd with us. So it's been great.
The student is a wonderful individual and loves costuming, and I'm glad that they have found opportunities not only in our school but outside, and we hope that they continue. We're going to wind down because we've hit that 7:45 mark, so I just wanted to give our panel one last opportunity and one quick question that you can leave our audience with just, I think you did a really beautiful job talking about everything that you do both in your classroom, but outside of your classroom, and what you offer both in the marketing world and what that looks like. But if there's like one bit of advice that you could give to either up and coming high school students or current high school students who are interested in the fine visual and fine and performing arts, what would that piece of advice be? Who wants to go first? Thank you.
I can jump in first. I think knowing that there's always a choice. There's always something out there for you. There's always something for you to do and to try. Many of those opportunities, most of those opportunities are free and open to you. And so I would say take advantage of every opportunity that you can, because it really helps inform, I think, your high school experience, but also who you become as a person. You're becoming wonderful young people, and you bring so much to our schools and so much to our programs. And so know that every single teacher at our schools wants to support you and wants you to do your best work and discover the things that really, light your fire. So make those choices, join that club, and don't be afraid of locking yourself in. There's always another choice. You can always find something that you are passionate about, I think, here at 214.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can just to add to that, I would say follow your passion. Like if there is something that you are passionate about or you're curious about, do not ignore that. Absolutely, dig into it, be curious about it, and find out everything that you can about it. Just, follow your gut, follow your passion, whatever you want to call it, however you want to identify it, don't ignore it.
Yeah, I would add to all of that high school is an opportunity to try things. It's kind of like the sampler platter of appetizers. You can go and you can try. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. You could go and you
We'll
can
wrap it up.
art one year, and then you can go and you can try graphic design, and you can get involved with like art club after school. All of the District 214 schools have art club. I personally, as a teacher, always compare the process of learning art to adding tools to a tool belt. And just because you have all of these tools, and you're going to learn about new tools, and you're going to learn how to use those, and you can always draw back from those in the future. So I think a lot of what happens as an artist and somebody that makes something is you're in the thick of it. It gets frustrating. You have to work through that frustration. And sometimes things don't turn out the way that you want them to. And I think a common misconception, especially in the era of social media and watching time-lapse videos on the internet, and it's like somebody just drew that in 30 seconds. No, they did not. And I think the danger of social media is that people are only posting their successes. And to learn is to make mistakes and to learn from those mistakes, especially when you're making something like, oh, I tried watercolor and oil pastel and it didn't work. And then you're like, but wait, there might be ways that I can use those things together in the future, knowing my experience with them. So don't give up. Keep going, try new things. That's my advice to anyone. And keep adding tools to your tool belt, because you can always pull that tool out when you need it.
Thank you. That was really, really well said. And although we don't have dance and music represented here, there are so many tools that we offer here. And if you are a music student or a dance student, if you love public speaking and you want to get into that, we have speech teams and debate. There are many things that we offer here at District 214 to help get you out there to fill those belts with tools, whether it be in the art world or any of the visual or performing arts. We encourage you to explore that curiosity I'm hearing, to do it enthusiastically, and not be afraid to make mistakes and get a little dirty and try something. If you don't like it, move to something else and try to keep on some sort of path. and just keep following your, I think you said, Teresa, gut or passions. And I am very, yeah, and I'm passionately and enthusiastically impressed with my panel today. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And for those who did stay on, great. Thank you so much. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube and making it, this is my second video on YouTube, everybody. So I am now on my way to becoming viral. This is exciting. So I want to thank everyone for being there. With that, I say, JMO, thanks everybody. Have a good night.